Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Buenos dias. To begin with, we have the pleasure, as you know, this year we have the Bootcamp in Spanish hosted by UNESCO IESALC, which is an incredible achievement, I think, for the Bootcamp and an honor to have UNESCO IESALC with us this year. And to begin with, we have Dr. Francesc Pedró, the director of UNESCO IESALC, sharing some thoughts with us today. Over to you, Francis. Thank you.
Es un placer y un honor estar con todos ustedes en el momento de lanzamiento de este Bootcamp. En este sentido, me gustaría destacar que estamos aquí gracias al esfuerzo de un consorcio de múltiples instituciones entre las que hemos tenido la fortuna de contarnos. No estará de más recordar la participación de la Universidad Americana de Sharjah, de la Universidad Abierta del Reino Unido, la Universidad Anglia Ruskin y la Universidad de Glasgow. Yo quisiera decir que es realmente una oportunidad única la que tenemos a través de esta actividad para transitar de una vez por todas de la etapa discursiva en materia de lo que signifique la sostenibilidad en educación superior a una etapa de transformación y de cambio verdadero. Yo diría que, por lo menos en nuestra región, sería difícil encontrar una institución de educación superior que en su documentación, en sus páginas web, en sus pronunciamientos políticos o públicos, no mencionara la importancia de su papel en aras de los objetivos del desarrollo sostenible o, más en general, de la sostenibilidad, empezando por prácticas cotidianas que tienen que ver con el uso del agua o de la energía, o incluso nuestras propias actitudes dentro del campus de una institución. Pero lo que ya es más difícil es encontrar una implicación práctica de este compromiso discursivo que se refleje en todas y cada una de las materias que se imparten en una institución. Y esta es la ambición que compartimos con estas instituciones que he mencionado, la ambición de que, gracias a lo que no es ni más ni menos que una experiencia realmente intensa de trabajo participativo, de trabajo colaborativo, consigamos que equipos que representan disciplinas, programas, instituciones muy distintas, culminen este proceso de aprendizaje compartido con un cambio en sus programas de trabajo y, eventualmente, un cambio en sus prácticas. Por eso yo diría que, junto a este principio que me parece muy innovador, que es cómo conseguimos, especialmente en un contexto en el cual es difícil encontrarse todavía físicamente, cómo conseguimos que la idea, el concepto del compromiso de las instituciones de educación superior con la sostenibilidad se traduzca en algo específico y concreto. Y junto a esta idea yo quisiera destacar otra que me parece muy característica de este programa, y es precisamente el modelo pedagógico que permite que esta intención, que esta ambición a la que me referí, se convierta en una práctica, y en una práctica perdurable y en sí misma, si me permiten el juego de palabras, también sostenible en el futuro. Y esto tiene mucho que ver con el concepto de pedagogía transformadora que ustedes verán y experimentarán a lo largo de esta enorme experiencia. Yo quisiera destacar la enorme acogida que esta iniciativa ha tenido. En realidad, en la región hemos recibido más de 70 proyectos distintos y finalmente nos hemos tenido que quedar tan solo con 22 equipos, 10 que van a trabajar en lengua inglesa y 12 que lo harán en español. Cada uno de estos equipos está compuesto por un profesor o profesora, un estudiante y un diseñador pedagógico, ¿no? Y por consiguiente tenemos ante nosotros un núcleo todavía reducido, pero que yo creo con un gran potencial de impacto. En definitiva, lo que estamos haciendo es revalidar un modelo que esperamos que en futuras ocasiones, así lo esperamos desde nuestro instituto, se convierta en una práctica cotidiana extendible a muchos más equipos y, por qué no, en un modelo pedagógico que podemos aplicar también a nuestra voluntad de incidir en las prácticas de enseñanza y aprendizaje en la educación superior en nuestra región y más allá. En este sentido, destacar igualmente que nos corresponde a nosotros, al Instituto Internacional de la UNESCO para la Educación Superior, el desarrollo de esta actividad en lengua española y, al mismo tiempo, mientras nosotros lo hacemos, en inglés, será la American University of Sharjah la que se ocupará de ese desarrollo, pero trabajamos de una manera extremadamente intensa. Por tanto, quisiera terminar reconociendo el esfuerzo de multitud de personas que están detrás de estas notables instituciones y, en particular, el liderazgo aportado por la doctora María Toro por parte de este consorcio del que nos honramos en formar parte y que ha permitido desgranar un modelo pedagógico al que yo auguro un gran futuro. Y por parte de nuestro instituto también a Yuma Inzolia, que ha sido, yo diría que sin respiro, con sangre, sudor y lágrimas, la gran promotora de esta actividad en la región y la que va a conseguir, sin duda alguna, que esto se convierta en una actividad recurrente de nuestro instituto y de nuestro campus, que se enorgullece de albergar esta iniciativa. Por tanto, muchísimas gracias a todos y a todas por su participación y, en especial, a las instituciones con las que nos honramos de participar. Ojalá en poco tiempo podamos volver a vernos, tal vez, quien lo sabe, de forma presencial o de forma más híbrida, para celebrar que somos más instituciones las que estamos en este consorcio y que podemos dar cobertura a más necesidades expresadas en todas las regiones que cubrimos. Muchísimas gracias y les deseo lo mejor en esta fascinante aventura.
Thank you very much, Francis. I think it's cut off there. I'm going to share my screen again, and just to remind you again to go into the interpretation channel that you need. So we have at the bottom of the screen interpretation in English and Spanish. Right, so I'm just going to say a few words, just to introduce myself. As some of you know me, I'm María Toro Troconis. I'm the founder and director of the Learning Design and Education for Sustainable Development Bootcamp. And before I hand the floor to Dr. Alexander, I would like to just say a few words about how we got here today. And to begin with, I'm going to show you here what was happening in 2019. This is when we started the bootcamp, the first bootcamp that we started back in 2019. So as you can see there, on the map, you can see that the only pin is in the UK. At this moment in time, we were thinking about helping universities to supporting universities to develop online and blended learning programs. And that's how the idea of the bootcamp came about. And at the time we had, as you can see here, two hosts. We have the University of East London and City University London in the UK hosting this idea. So these were ex-colleagues of mine, Santanu and Julie, that helped me to really materialize this idea of having teams working together with a common aim of designing a curriculum design aiming for online or blended learning. And the call in 2019, we had, as you can see there, we had 4 universities. So we had Manchester Metropolitan, Solent, Warwick, and East London as well. After that, we have, in 2020, we had another bootcamp. And this time, the team that won in 2019 was Manchester University. They were hosting the bootcamp then. And in this case, as you can see, the pin remains in the same place in the UK. We were still in the UK, targeting universities in the UK. We had teams from UCL, from Exeter, Surrey University, Aberystwyth in Wales, and St. George's Medical School. Again, we were very local. We were still within the UK. We were still only looking at curriculum design. Then 2021, we had the honor of having the Open University hosting the bootcamp. This was when the pandemic hit. And as you can see, we were moving a little bit away from the UK. The teams then became a little bit more wider than just based on the UK. As you can see there, that's the American University of Sharjah. And that's how, and you can see others, we had Iceland at the time, we had Ireland and the UK. And this is when the idea of embedding sustainability in the curriculum and connecting a curriculum design with education for sustainable development really was born. The work I was carrying out with American University of Sharjah at the time, they were embedding education for sustainable development in the project while they were doing the bootcamp. And that's how we started developing the new version of the co-designs, education for sustainable development framework, and so on. So that led us to where we are today. So as you can see here, to begin with, the logo changed. So the boot is not just a black boot anymore. You can see that now we have a little drop, and we have the colors, the Sustainable Development Goals colors. So now it's a blend of curriculum design and also education for sustainable development. You can see the pins are a bit more spread this time. So for the English bootcamp this year, we have several hosts and leads to begin with. So as you can see, American University of Sharjah, the Open University, Anglia Ruskin University, and the University of Glasgow. Those are our hosts and our leads. I can't stress enough the time and energy that all these leads and the hosts have really put into this project. This year we selected 10 teams, and welcome to all of you. I know that I can see a lot of people here in the call. I'm sure some of you will be here today. A warm welcome to all of you. We are really looking forward to getting started with the work with each of your teams. So as you can see, we have University of Essex, we have Manchester Metropolitan, we have again American University of Sharjah, Amity University, Queen's University Belfast, Glasgow Caledonian University, the Hong Kong Polytechnic, and the University of Sydney, University of Technology Sydney. At the same time, as you know, obviously we have the bootcamp in Spanish this year, and the host is UNESCO IESALC, so it's an amazing honor. And I would like to stress again, as Dr. Francis said, Yuma in Solia, she's been instrumental in putting this together, the bootcamp in Spanish. So thank you, Yuma, and we'll have you talking to us in a minute. As you can see there, the impact for this bootcamp has been huge in the region. So all the pins around all South America, Central America, and Spain. For the Spanish bootcamp, we have 12 teams this year from all the universities that you can see there. But they go from Argentina to Chile to Colombia, Honduras, Mexico. It's amazing. It's incredible. I think I can't emphasize enough how an amazing experience you're going to have this year, because it's just incredible the number of countries that we have represented in the Spanish as well as the English one. So moving on, I just want to emphasize that we have also an amazing team of mentors that we've trained, and you can see the pins there as well. I just wanted to show you where they are based, and we have about 60 trained mentors that are going to help all the teams to get through the bootcamp this year. All the mentors went through training at the end of last year, and they are all ready for you, and they will be in touch with you soon. And you can see that the coordinators, we have two key people that are going to be coordinating the mentors. And Alison is from the University of Southampton, and we have Tatiana from Universidad CES. They're going to be instrumental for keeping all the mentors together and creating that community of practice. Then we have to mention the committee, the bootcamp committee, because it's not just the mentors, it's not just the hosts. We have more people behind the scenes really thinking strategically about where to go with the bootcamp. And as you can see there, we have people from, for example, University of the Arts London, Santa Nu, that started with the bootcamp, from 2019, and we have other universities there. And here is just to show you the impact that we've had so far. So you can see we've had 42 teams, university teams so far. Participants, we have about 140, and we have 60 mentors trained. And we have all the pins there, as you can see where we are, and 2 frameworks that have been released on a Creative Commons license. So people, thousands and thousands of people are using the framework at the moment. And I want to emphasize the budget on the right corner. So how much did we really spend on all of these? And as you can see, we never paid anyone for this work. It's all run by volunteers, and I think this is just amazing. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you, because this hasn't been possible without all the help from all of you. So hopefully we are going forwards. We are looking for a sustainability model for us to be able to have a bigger impact, and that's where we are heading towards. But it's amazing to see that we've reached this point where we are without any financial income. Right, so that's all I wanted to say. A big welcome, and I can just tell you how happy I am to be here with you today. I think you're going to have an amazing experience, and I'm going to hand over now to Dr. Alexander Leicht, Chief of Education for Sustainable Development Section from UNESCO. Alexander, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to join you here for the launch of this really wonderful initiative. I will just take a few minutes really to make a few comments from the UNESCO perspective. Of course, as you know, the UN lead agency on education for sustainable development, from the UNESCO perspective, on how this whole initiative is framed really, and why we think education for sustainable development is really so crucial, is such a fundamentally pressing and transformational approach to education, very much needed today. As you all know, of course, and I think probably all the participants here won't need much convincing, but of course, as we know, we are really at a very particular time when we talk about global challenges. I mean, we just need to look at the last IPCC report, for example, to see the dramatic advances of climate change. We need to look at the figures on biodiversity loss, and we will immediately see, and these are only some of the challenges, that really urgent action is needed, and that is really the starting point for us for our work on education for sustainable development. It's clear that we need a massive change across the world in all of societies, in all areas of societies, and in politics, in the economy, in technology, but in particular, really, when it comes to the mindset of people. If we want to move towards sustainable development, really everyone needs to think and act differently, think and act more forward-looking, with more awareness of the limited and finite planet that we are living on. And this is why education is so important. Really, we need education. We need really to change everyone's mind and action. But of course, when we just say we need education, we have a dilemma. It cannot be any kind of education, because just boosting educational levels may well lead to more consumption, to more unchecked economic growth, may lead to more carbon emissions. So it is not enough to just boost education per se. We do need to boost a very specific, a very particular kind of education, the way that this initiative and the Bootcamp is doing. We need to boost education for sustainable development, really as an education that provides the knowledge, the skills, the values, and attitudes to create really change agents for sustainable development. This really implies a transformation also of the whole education system, of its policies, of its curricula, of its teacher training, of its education institutions, really at all levels, and including, of course, higher education. And this is really what UNESCO has been promoting through education for sustainable development over the last really number of years. So much for the question, sort of for the rationale why education for sustainable sustainable development. And then I also wanted to make a few comments really why is it so important to work in an interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary way, because I think that also goes very much to the heart of the initiative. Of course, I mean, like as we're all aware, the key contribution really of the idea of the concept of sustainable development is that we cannot look at different segments of development separately, because looking at economic development alone can have terrible effects on the environment or on social cohesion. So of course that, you know, the key idea of the concept of sustainable development, we need to think about the interlinkages and the interdependencies of economy, society, and environment, the famous three pillars, of course, of sustainable development. And the way to think like this is, of course, not new for many cultures, of course, but at the global level, it really has been sort of only in the last couple of decades that this has been the guiding principle. The SDGs now, of course, since 2015, they spell this out in much more detail, these different dimensions of sustainable development, and operationalize really how to progress towards the different dimensions of sustainable development. But the key contribution certainly is that they have to be seen in their entirety as a whole package. We must resist the temptation to separate individual sustainable development goals out and look sort of only on economic progress, or only at the life on land, say, sustainable development goal, only on the poverty SDG. We would make the same error as a society if we saw the SDGs only as one development blueprint that can coexist alongside other development ideas such as economic growth. We really need to see the sustainable development goals as the overall umbrella of development and really as one sort of coherent package. And all this really to say how crucial it is to learn and educate for an understanding of interlinkages, complexities, tensions, and trade-offs, and the processes and attitudes that are needed to negotiate these different tensions, to negotiate these different interdependencies, and to jointly find solutions. Really. So for ESD, this means really working between and across disciplines. You know, imagine any kind of sustainable development challenge, say a climate-induced flood in some local community. Any one discipline or perspective does never give us the full picture of what is happening. I mean, like science gives us some aspect of the facts, social sciences gives us a different perspective, and then of course we have the whole normative perspective of where we want to go, and then eventually how we can go there. So much about sort of the importance and the rationale for interdisciplinarity and transdisciplinarity. And then lastly, my third and last point really, why higher education? Why the focus on higher education? Of course, higher education has a crucial place in society, and that makes it particularly important and particularly well placed to advance education for sustainable development. Higher education is really where many of the future leaders of society are trained, are formed, many of the decision makers, and of course we would want them to be really change agents for sustainable development. Higher education institutions are at the forefront of creating innovative solutions for sustainable development challenges. It is there not only, but also and especially there where a lot of creative thinking around sustainability solutions is taking place. Also, depending on the country, of course, but higher education institutions also often have a certain room for maneuver, have a certain autonomy really to try out certain pedagogies, try out certain approaches that education institutions at other levels of the education system may not have, and that's why higher education institutions also lend themselves particularly for an innovative approach, such as education for sustainable development. So with all of this comes also, of course, a very, very heavy responsibility. To the responsibility, I mean, first of all, to really stop producing leaders that in their actions do not care about the planet and maybe speak about sustainable development, but do not put sustainable development into practice. Also the responsibility to develop really across the whole institution an approach to sustainability, an approach that addresses the education content at the education institution, the pedagogy, the methodology, the campus, really to turn the campus in a real living environment, into a whole in itself a learning experience for sustainable development. It concerns the governance of the institution, and then also the opening up to the community around progress towards sustainable development. Of course, will only be done in partnership, and that also means for the higher education institution that it is part not only of a web of other higher education institutions, but also of a web of sustainable development promoters in their communities, in their local and national communities. So this whole institution approach is something that we are promoting for all education institutions. But again, if higher education institutions become the vanguard for this approach, it will have many positive effects on the rest of the education system, because higher education institutions, as I said, are often really the drivers of innovation. So with this, really, I want to just what remains for me is really wish you all the best for the bootcamp, all the best for the initiative. To also from my side, give all acknowledgement to all the wonderful institutions that have developed this bootcamp, and to all participants, of course, to have a very, very good learning experience. Thank you very much. Back to you, Maria.
Thank you so much, Alexander. Thank you so much. That's amazing to have you here. It's a real honor, and thank you. We can't thank you enough. And also thank you, UNESCO IESALC, especially Yuma, for finding you and making sure that you could join us today. Thank you so much. I think what you said really is really important, because it's exactly what we are trying to achieve with the bootcamp, trying to really work with higher education institutions and trying to develop those leadership leaders that will, irrespective of the hierarchy, leaders in any sector, anywhere, to be able to be agents of change. So I think that resonates obviously with what we are trying to do. Also what you said about the approach, the whole institution approach, so from pedagogic practices through the way we are designing our campuses. So all the areas that as higher education institutions we need to be really looking for. I think what we are emphasizing here is obviously the pedagogic side, is supporting academics, giving them systematic ways of developing, embedding education for sustainable development in curriculum design. I think one of the strengths of the bootcamp, I think what we've seen is the community for practice that we are developing that are really stretching across the globe in this case, especially this year, obviously with having all the Spanish participants as well as all the English-speaking participants. So I think it's just incredible to see how all these communities of practice are creating. So thank you so much for your participation, and it would be great to have you in one of our workshops probably in the near future. Thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen now, and now let's move on to show you more faces, more amazing people that have been working really hard to get to today, to where we are today. As you can see there, the first one at the top, UNESCO IESALC, Yuma Insolia. Hi, Yuma. Can you say a few words?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Maria. Thank you very much. Voy a hablar en español para equilibrar un poco también la sesión. Como responsable del área de capacitación y desarrollo desde el Instituto Internacional de la UNESCO para la Educación Superior en América Latina y el Caribe, es un honor formar parte de este comité. Comentarles que, como se imaginarán, cuando tuvimos la oportunidad de conversar con María sobre esta iniciativa, conociendo además ya el trabajo que ella había realizado con la herramienta de co-design, antes de incorporarle esta capa ya más dirigida a la implementación de los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible dentro del ámbito educativo, pues por supuesto nosotros como instituto estuvimos encantados de participar y apoyar en esta hermosa causa, más aún cuando en esta iniciativa que, como bien comenta María, ha sido realizada toda, digamos, de forma voluntaria por todos los que formamos parte del comité, por todos los que ustedes hoy nos acompañan y por todos los mentores que los van a acompañar durante estas semanas, pues por supuesto el poder contar con profesionales y personas de tanto nivel como los que estamos hoy aquí, solo pueden hacer que garantizar que esta experiencia que hoy iniciamos sea de absoluto éxito. Quiero aprovechar estas palabras para fortalecer también un mensaje dirigido precisamente a la necesidad que existe de mantener un cambio sistémico en todo el sistema de educación, incorporando, por supuesto, los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible, especialmente la educación para el desarrollo sostenible, y conseguir así un modelo de ciudadanía mundial global. Es fundamental que nosotros como docentes y ciudadanos seamos parte de este proceso de cambio, y obviamente con iniciativas como las de este bootcamp podemos dar un poquito, ¿no?, de poner nuestro granito de arena. Así, para nosotros desde el Instituto Internacional es un honor acompañar a este comité. Hemos trabajado muy arduamente y estoy convencida de que ustedes sabrán aprovechar los maravillosos conocimientos y experiencias que podrán ir compartiendo con cada uno de los expertos de cada una de las universidades que ya María ha presentado, que forman parte, que han desarrollado los contenidos que se alojan en la plataforma que nosotros hemos puesto a disposición del programa en el campus IESALC. Sean todos bienvenidos y muchísimas gracias por darnos la oportunidad de acompañarlos en esta experiencia. Gracias, María, te devuelvo la palabra.
Gracias, Yuma. Ahora te respondo en español. Esperemos que estén todos en el canal correcto. Muchísimas gracias, de verdad, de nuevo, es un honor trabajar con todos ustedes, y una vez más quiero enfatizar el hecho de que ha sido tu actividad ha sido instrumental realmente para poder concebir lo que hemos concebido con el Bootcamp en español. Así que muchísimas gracias nuevamente. Voy a continuar en español porque quiero también presentar a Tatiana Molina, que es de la Universidad de SS. Tatiana también ha trabajado muchísimo de la mano de Yuma, trabajando para poder tener este bootcamp en español listo para todos ustedes el día de hoy. No sé si Tatiana está con nosotros, no la he visto.
Sí, María, ¿cómo estás?
Vale, ¿qué tal? Adelante.
Gracias, María. Bueno, continuemos en español. Para mí es un placer poder estar aquí con ustedes, poder compartir este espacio, y es un honor hacer parte del comité directivo del Bootcamp, esta vez por primera vez también en español, como se mencionaba. Darle la bienvenida a todos los participantes y por supuesto a los mentores que van a estar acompañando esta participación de parte de la Universidad CES, y por supuesto también el agradecimiento y el honor de ser parte de este comité. Espero poder trabajar de la mano con ustedes. Estaré también coordinando el primer módulo en español y por supuesto acompañando a los mentores en este proceso para que todos los participantes tengan lo mejor de este bootcamp, que de verdad que van a ver que la calidad y la temática es muy pertinente. Entonces, agradecerles a todos y volvemos entonces con María.
Gracias, Tatiana. Ok, voy a volver ahora a inglés para introducir a Sharjah. So the second one in the list, we have the American University of Sharjah. As I said before, Sharjah has been key really in the conception of what we have today. As I said, I was working with Norita Mohammed, with Professor Norita Ahmad and Professor Mohammed Ibrahim when they were doing the bootcamp last year, and they were trying to embed education for sustainable development in the module that they identified in the bootcamp. And I personally worked with them because I saw the way that we could expand the framework and the impact of what we were doing, and here we are today. So I would like to introduce first Professor Norita Ahmad, who is actually physically here with me today. For the first time physically we meet. So over to you, Norita.
Hello, everybody. I'm so sorry about the background noise. Somehow we are trapped here. I'm so sorry about that. So please just bear with me. I just wish that there is a translation for Malaysia, for Malay language as well, so I can speak in my language. My name is Norita Ahmad. I am a professor of MIS and also director at Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning at the American University of Sharjah. I'm from Malaysia originally, but I've been staying in the UAE for the last 13 years. So like Maria mentioned, last year, my colleague and I joined the bootcamp, and we had the best time ever, and we learned so much. And when we were asked to be part of the host this year, we did not even hesitate, because we know that we would love to join and share whatever it is that we have learned last year, and also try to expand the benefit that we basically gathered and also learned from our experience last year. So I'm really, really hoping that all of you are going to take the best advantage of this free session that we have for all of you, and try to make the most of your experience here. So I'm just going to, I guess, go over to my colleague Mohammed Ibrahim now.
Yes. Buenos días. Soy Mohammed Ibrahim de Marruecos. Trabajo a la Universidad Sharjah, la Universidad Americana in Sharjah. Now I will speak in English. My name is Mohammed Ibrahim. I teach at the American University, Sharjah, in the United Arab Emirates. Briefly, I would like to say I am very happy and very honored to be a part of this amazing team, inspirational team. And I'm excited also to contribute to the success of this Bootcamp 2022. Thank you very much. Gracias.
Thank you, Mohammed, and thank you, Norita. Thank you so much. Great to see you. Over to Rose. Rose Harmer from
Yes,
Sharjah.
thank you so much, Maria. Hi, hello everyone, and welcome. We're very excited to have you on board for this. I work at American University of Sharjah with Professor Mohammed and Professor Norita, and I am the head of the Office of Sustainability here. So when they started to really integrate and work towards integrating the ESDs into the program, they reached out, and I have been. It's been such a pleasure to be a part of this group and to see the incredible dedication from all of the mentors and all of the people working. So I think that it's going to be a wonderful next couple of months moving forward, and you will learn a lot, and we're just really excited to be hosting this, and welcome everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rose. Brilliant. Thank you so much. So that's the team from Sharjah. Finally, you can see them. Right, moving over to the next team, Anglia Ruskin University. I have to say that I was chasing up for all the people that you can see today here. I've been to several conferences and symposiums, and I've been trying to find the right people to really fit into different roles within the bootcamp. And we can see here we have the pleasure of having Professor Alison Brake and Victoria Tate, who have been really, really important in the definition of the area for sustainability and education for sustainable development within the program. So a big thank you to you, and over to you, Alison.
Thank you, Maria. Well, first of all, welcome everybody. It's absolutely fantastic, and we're really honoured. Anglia Ruskin is really honoured to be part of this fantastic programme. I hope you'll have a wonderful time. I think we have, both Victoria and I have been absolutely impressed by the group of people that Maria has brought together, and the enthusiasm and the dedication to bring this bootcamp together. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the coming weeks when we actually deliver it. So I hope you have a fantastic time learning from the members of the bootcamp, but also from each other, because I think you all have wonderful experiences that you can share. And I'm Professor of Sustainability Education at Anglia Ruskin University. So this brings together really several parts of what I'm really passionate about. And it's not just about sustainability, but it's also about how you do that sustainability. So I think this bootcamp is bringing those two things together. So have a wonderful time, be inspired, be motivated. There's a lot of change that needs to happen, and hopefully at the end of this, you can go out and be those change agents.
Thank you very much, Alison. Great to have you here. Thank you. Over to Victoria.
Hi, thank you so much, Maria. Welcome, everyone. As Alison and everyone else has said, just so excited to be part of this bootcamp. I've loved being part of it so far and really look forward to working with you. So my name is Victoria Tate, and I am a lecturer practitioner in education for sustainable development. And I've worked in the field of ESD, outdoor and environmental education, for 10 years. And I've worked across all levels of the education system as well. So here at Anglia Ruskin, I work on the design and the delivery of interdisciplinary online learning modules that are all framed around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and that are compulsory for all of our second year undergraduate students. Within the bootcamp, I'm the module lead for the first module in the English speaking bootcamp, as well as a mentor. So you're going to see me popping up at various points. But yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic time.
Thank you, Victoria. Yeah, that's right. Victoria is a module lead for module 1. So and also she's a mentor. So you will see Victoria a lot. And so as you can see, that obviously Anglia Ruskin is bringing that strength that we needed from the education for sustainable development front and the sustainability front, as well as obviously Sharjah. What we have now is the University of Glasgow, and the University of Glasgow is really a key pillar in our program, because they are the leg of the chair supporting us from a transformative pedagogics point of view. And I have the pleasure to introduce you Dr. Vicky Dale and Dr. Natalie Taylor. They are both experts in this area, and they are module leads for Module 2, Transformative Pedagogies. Over to you, Vicky.
Thanks very much, Maria. So hello, everyone. Hola, colegas. Pronunciation probably not great there, but very well. Warm welcome to all of you. So as Maria said, Natalie and I focus on transformative pedagogies. We believe that learning should be meaningful, it should be fun, it should be participative, and we take you through different creative pedagogies for how you might think about how to embed education for sustainable development in your teaching. So I'll pass over now to my partner in crime, Natalie Tasler.
Buenos dias, hello everyone, and all I want to add is the things we suggest in Module 2 are incentives to make you think about your pedagogy, to think about how you can apply and integrate the sustainability development goals into your own teaching practice, but they are by no means exhaustive. As you know, it's a fairly small module. And so I would suggest use it as a starting point to think, and stay in touch with us. We are both on Twitter, on social media. Keep talking, and I hope you enjoy the model. And it was fantastic to be involved in this.
Thank you very much, Vicky and Natalie. It's great to have you here. So that's Vicky and Natalie, they are module leads for Module 2. Now, last but not least, we have the Open University with Gerald Evans and Catherine Reedy. Obviously, we've been working with the Open University back in 2019, I think, when they were hosting the bootcamp, and obviously they had the learning design team at the Open University. So obviously they are a key partner for the bootcamp. Over to you, Gerald.
Thank you, Maria, and hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today at the launch of the bootcamp for 2022. So my name's Gerald. I'm head of learning design at the Open University in the UK. The Open University has a long history of distance learning, dating back over 50 years, and more recently a specialism in learning design, which dates back to 2009. We have expertise in design and evaluation of learning using our proprietary approaches. And we've worked with Maria to build in aspects of our approach into the new co-designs framework being used in this bootcamp. And as Maria says, we've been on the bootcamp journey over the past few years. So we were hosting last year, and it's a pleasure to be co-hosting this year. It's really exciting to see the global format for this year, and looking forward to supporting and learning with the teams this year. And I'd just like to say hello and to introduce the other OU staff working on this as well, which include Catherine Reedy, Jenna R. Jaffrey, and Tim Seal. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerald. Over to Catherine.
Catherine's left the call, Maria, so it's just myself.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Thank you, Gerald. Well, that's great. It's great to have you again. Obviously, we've been working together for a few years now, and it's really key for us to continue working with the Open University and with your amazing team, and obviously Jana now that it has joined your team as well. Right, well, I was really keen for you to meet all these people, all these amazing people from amazing universities that have been putting all the time and effort to get where we are today. So I'm sure that you will meet all the mentors in the other breakout rooms, but I just wanted you to really meet all these amazing people that we have working with us. And I think for me, it's just a final message, really, just to say to you, I think Alison mentioned that for you, you need to really think about how you're going to be embedding education for sustainable development. And I want to emphasize as well is how you need to put your heart into this. I think you need to feel it. And I think this is what's one of the aims of the bootcamp is really to engage, as we say, your brain, your hands and your hearts. So you're going to learn about sustainability, about how to embed education for sustainable development. You're going to feel it, you're going to relate to it. And also you're going to know by going through module 2 with Vicky and Natalie, what kind of transformative pedagogies you can put into practice to actually engage and use your hands in your teaching and your learning design. So I really encourage you to really communicate with all the communities that we are creating here. I think that's one of the main advantages of the bootcamp. It's all the people that you have around yourself. Now, not just in the UK, we have people globally in different languages, but we can still communicate in different ways. So I really encourage you to take this opportunity to really learn a lot, have a lot of fun, and also be encouraged that what you're doing today will have a massive impact in our planet, in our world, in our kids, in our grandchildren. So feel this experience as the opportunity to really make a difference in the world that we live in. So a big welcome to you again, and all the best in the bootcamp. What we need to do now is to go into the breakout rooms. So the Spanish bootcamp on the left is staying there in this session, please. You're going to be led by Yuma in the second half, and the English bootcamp, please go to the Zoom link that we shared with you before. The details are there on the screen anyway. But anyway, a big round of applause to all of you, the committee, the mentors, the leads, the hosts. Thank you so much, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Thank you very much.